good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Knit State of Mind podcast. We're back again to share more finished objects and whips and future plans with you. Today is Sunday, December 15th, here out in the Bay Area, and kind of can't believe it. We're halfway through December, moving into January. We have lots of plans for the new year. And we just want to start out by thanking everyone who has been on this journey with us so far. We hope you continue to watch us and follow us on Instagram, Knit State of Mind. On Ravelry, we have a group also called Knit State of Mind. I am Zest in Class on Instagram, and I'm heathertee3 on Instagram, and also heathertee on Ravelry, T-E-E for the T. I'm wandawat on Ravelry. So we have a couple of threads going in the Knit State of Mind podcast group. Clear the Needles 2020, which we'll talk about a little bit more towards the end of the episode, and a section for introductions. Thank you so much for folks who have joined us there so far and started building community with us. We look forward to seeing how this continues to grow.
Yeah, it's been really great to see people commenting in the group, and we've also been really enjoying interacting with people on Instagram.
And comment here. Let us know what you're liking, what you would love to see more of. We would appreciate the feedback. So, shall we get into it?
Let's do.
So you're wearing this lusciousness. Please tell us about it.
Yes, so I finally finished my Leelanau sweater. I'm not actually sure if that's how you pronounce it, so someone please correct me. I think it's a county or some kind of place in Michigan from Googling. That's what I've determined. But anyway, this is my Leelanau sweater, which is a pattern by French Press Knits. The designer is Melynda Bernardi. If you watched our previous episodes, you know that I knit basically this whole sweater on size 6 needles, and it came out too big. So this is now on size 5 needles for the body and size 4 for the rib. And the yarn is Rowan Purewool Superwash worsted in the colors Red Currant and Olive. So I'll stand up so you can see it a little bit. I was kind of going for like an oversized sweatshirty fit, so that's what I got. So I'm pretty happy with it. It's just a raglan, and one thing I really like about this pattern is the neckline. I feel like the neckline is nice and high, which for a winter sweater is something that you want. Sometimes
I was just thinking the same thing. I love the high neckline.
Because sometimes a raglan pattern will give you like a little bit of a lower neck, but this one comes up nice and close. You actually knit the collar to be like twice as long and then double it over. So it also has like, I don't know if you guys can see, but a really nice finish there.
So then do you sew it in there? Okay.
Yeah, so then you sew it down at the end. So overall, I'm happy with this. It's a great pattern. I definitely recommend the pattern. When I did block it, it did grow a lot, which I expected because it was superwash yarn. So if anyone out there has Rowan Purewool superwash and is wondering, is it really superwash? Yes. And you can put it in the dryer, because I put it in the dryer to shrink it back up. It grew about 2 inches in the length in both the sleeves and the body. So I put it in the dryer. I put it in for, first on low heat for like 10 minutes with some towels and like dryer balls, and nothing really happened. It didn't shrink up at all. So then I like raised it to medium heat for 10 more minutes. Nothing was happening. So then I was kind of like, oh no, is this gonna like really be a disaster? And I was like ready to just like throw it away, because
you were living life on the wild side. It sounds like.
So then I put the dryer up to high heat, and it checked it out again after 10 minutes, and it had started to shrink up a little bit. So then I kept checking it every 10 minutes. So I think after about 30 minutes on high heat, this is basically the size it was when it came off the needles.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, so I'm more or less happy with the fit. I think the sleeves, like right here, is a little bit big. So if I were to knit it again, I would probably knit, I do like the fit of the body because I wanted it to be that oversized sweatshirt. I would probably knit the sleeves one size smaller, and then do some extra decreases in the back to get this part of the raglan down to the smaller size also. But I'm happy with how it is for like a winter sweatshirt.
It looks like a really cozy winter sweatshirt.
Yeah.
I love it. And I like the cut of it, particularly the high neck and the colors you chose. Check you out.
Yeah, so the last thing I wanted to say is that it's a little bit felted because I did dry it in the dryer. And I actually really like that because it just does make it more of that like sweatshirt texture.
Looks like something you would buy in a store.
Yeah. So, and there, it does definitely, it's very warm. So I managed to take it off partway through.
That's like a jacket here in the Bay Area. Right? Yeah.
But I did wear it out today. I wore it out grocery shopping and
Lovely. So, not to work yet.
Not to work yet. It's a little casual. I mean, I might wear it to work.
Yeah,
but,
I could see that.
Yeah. And I'd probably get hot too from like running around. But
cool.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I feel like you whipped that up in no time because you had to start over.
Well, because I had to start. Yeah. And it's basically like almost all I worked on these last couple weeks. I mean, I have a few other things, but
gotcha. But that was just 2 weeks. Nice. All right. I'm impressed.
Thank you. Well, you have an FO as well.
I do. And I'm wearing it as well. This is my, can you see that? Alto hat. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Okay. Hat hair. So let's see if you can pick up on that look.
It's your twisted stitches.
It's a bunch of, exactly. Yeah. So I know now that I can do twisted stitches. So this is the Alatau hat. It is a pattern from the most recent Pom Pom magazine. So I think the pattern's by Ainur, what's her name? Berkimbayeva. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but and the pattern is named after a mountain range, the Alatau region or mountains there, and so it's meant to look like the ridges in that mountain. So I love that the hat has ties to the earth. And I had hit up Heather for, I had this yarn, it's a DK weight yarn, it's Northfield Valley yarns. It's another pretty inexpensive yarn. It's 70% merino, 20% alpaca, and 10% silk, so it has a really nice texture.
That's what's giving it that drape, I was wondering. Yeah.
So it's interesting because when I knit it up, it was a lot tighter than the gauge that the pattern suggests. And so I was concerned it wouldn't fit, but then after I blocked it, it widened up a lot. So now I actually have the opposite concern if it's too big. But as you can tell, I have big hair, so it might just be perfect.
Yeah.
I knit the second size. If I knit it again, which I'm likely to do, I think I want to do it in another color. I'll show you that color. I think I'll knit her third size. Well, I don't know. We'll see because it changed and when I blocked it. I did the long.
Crown is really great too.
Oh yeah.
Sorry to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't even pay attention to that. Check that out.
Yeah.
It looks like a flower.
Yeah.
And then what you'll see here is I knit the long brim. She has a short and long brim option because I like to wear my hats folded over. And so the twisted stitches carry on this side, but not on the reverse side. So she was really intentional about how to switch up the pattern for the long and the short brim.
Oh, I see. That's cool.
Yeah.
This side is just regular.
So I was saying before, I was deciding between the gold and this teal color because it first caught my eye when I saw the pattern in the magazine, and she's using Harrisville nightshades and it has like a teal undertone. And so I might make another one in this color.
Yeah, that would be great.
But I decided with this one to go with the gold. So in my mind, I was like, go hard or go home. And gold, yellow, mustard. If you saw my home, you'd know that's my color. So I'm happy with it. I think I'll get a lot of wear out of it. I'm also going to enter this hat into Hand Me My Yarn. Hand Me My Yarn. Hand Me My Knitting has a podcast. And she has a budget yarn cow. And so this will be my second entry into that. It ends January 31st. And basically you need to use 100 grams yarn that is under $10 per 100 yards. And so this was $4.99. I made the cut $4.99 for 50 grams of yarn.
Oh, okay.
No, 50 yards.
Yeah, so it's 50. Like exactly right.
Yes. I might be messing that up, but we'll link the cow in the show notes. as well. And so I use one of these skeins and a little bit of the second skein. So this is my second skein of the yellow. And I have this much left over. So, and this was yarn I was going to make a sweater out of it and decided not to. So now I get to make hats, and I might make some socks out of the yarn too. I have a bunch of colors, so
you're gonna have hats for miles with all that yarn.
Yeah. So I think I might put that back on. Let's see.
While you put the hat back on, I'm thinking I might also enter this sweater into that budget cal, because I don't know how much this yarn costs full price. I honestly don't even know if they make this yarn anymore, but because I got it at that resale store, it was definitely meets the criteria for that price. So I need to remember to go do that.
Yeah, you should go for it. You should definitely enter it.
Yeah.
All right.
So, all right.
What else do we have?
Speaking of hats, I have a couple of FOs. So I posted this on Instagram, so some of you may have seen it on Instagram, but this is a Vanilla Fog hat, which is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. And it is, the pattern is designed to do like marling with different color scraps. But mine isn't marled, it's just two different solid colors. But, so here's the story behind this. So I made several of these about 2 years ago. I just was kind of in a hat mood, and I had made tons of hats for people for Christmas, and I made a bunch of these for, some friends that go to Tahoe with me every year. So I had made one for everyone with some like leftover sock yarn scraps, and this was mine. So I had actually knit this entire hat exactly like this 2 years ago, but it's this brioche pattern, and so it really stretches out.
Yeah.
And it's always been like a little bit big, but I put it on like last weekend in the morning because my head was cold, and I leaned over to get some stuff out of the dishwasher, and it fell off. And I was like, okay, this is like too much. I can't.
That might be too big.
Right. But I really love the hat. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to, it only takes like a day or two for me to knit these. I'm just going to pull it completely out and re-knit it on smaller needles. So that's what I did.
Done and done.
So I tore the whole thing out and re-knit it on smaller needles, on size 5 needles. It had been on 6 before, and now I feel like it fits really well. So I can like lean down and it doesn't fall off.
Nice. A good quality to have in a hat.
Exactly. And I just feel like it fits really well. And this pattern is really great if you are wanting to learn brioche or do a first brioche project. Because it's just the one color. So a lot of brioche projects are like two colors. But this you're just going around and around and around, and it's just the one color. So it's, you know, not too hard, and you can also learn how to do the brioche decreases.
Ooh, I love it.
So this is Dream in Color Smooshy with Cashmere in the color, I forget what color, Aqua Jet. And then this is Lolodidit Plush Sock in a one-of-a-kind green colorway. And the pom-pom is the very tail end of a skein of Backyard Fiberworks in the colorway Telltale Heart. So yeah, I'm happy with this, and I'm glad I decided to re-knit it because I've always really loved the hat, and it just wasn't wearable before.
Yeah, that's my style of hat. You know, I love the brioche, and this teal color is really beautiful too. Nice.
So,
we have hats today.
We have hats, and I have one more actually.
Oh, okay. Well then.
So then I thought,
on a roll.
Well, this does fit, but it's still like a little bit loose, and I'm curious if it's going to stretch out more. So then I was like, well, what if I knit one of these on a size 4 needle? So then I knit this one up.
Okay.
On a size 4 needle. So same pattern, Vanilla Fog by Andrea Mowry. And this is Lorna's Laces shepherd sock in the Pinstripe colorway, some other like leftovers that I had. And I just did like one little stripe
that's cute.
Of purple.
I like that a lot.
Around the brim, because I knew I wouldn't have enough of the gray for the pom-pom, so I put that in the pom-pom too.
Wait, so you made your pom-pom yourself?
I made my pom-pom using the Clover pom-pom makers.
I have no idea how you make pom-poms.
Yeah. Oh, and so I should have brought the things, but you can buy, Clover sells like a set of pom-pom makers, and you just wrap, it's really easy.
Okay, all right, all right. Next hat might have a pom-pom
We'll
on
have
it.
to have a pom-pom making party. But yeah, so I knit this one up on a size 4 needle. The color's not really like the most flattering color for me next to my face, so I'll probably give it away as a gift.
Like that color. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, so that's my
It seems like a really cool pattern.
Yeah, it's a great pattern. Like I said, I definitely recommend it if you're wanting to learn how to knit brioche or just want a quick, really stretchy hat. It might be a good one to knit for somebody that has like a bigger head and you're worried about.
That's a good point. Yeah. How long does it take you to knit that up?
I think it took me about 2 days on the weekend. So,
yeah, a couple of hours each day.
Yeah, I know, 5 hours, 5 or 6 hours.
Done and done.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any other finished objects. So do you have anything else that's done?
That's it. Those are my FOs. Yeah.
All right. Should we move on?
What are you working on right now?
So I've been working on a little bit of everything. And so I just have a little bit of progress on each item I've been working on. I guess I can give you all an update. So, the one I'm most excited about, right? Uh-oh. The one I'm most excited about right now, let's see.
Oh,
if
that
I can
gold
stretch
is looking
this out.
So good. It matches your hat.
My Union, yes it does. My Union Street Shawlette by Lavanya Patricella. And I'm using 3 different yarns in this one. I've spoken about them previously, so I don't need to repeat that information. But I started section 3 last time we came on here. I mean, I started section 4. I was finishing up section 3. So section 4 is the last section. It's a brioche section, and there are just a bunch of increases as well. So this will be one large triangle by the end. But you can see here that I started, oh, there's a lifeline in there. Ignore that. But I started putting the gold color, the dragonfly fibers, gold color in there, and I love it. So I think that was a really good decision. Like Heather said, I could probably rock this with my Alatau hat. And so, yeah, I can't wait to get it done. It's an easy knit. So I think, you know, for us knitters, particularly if we consider ourselves to be more beginners, we hear the word brioche and we think, that's scary. And then this is 2-color brioche, my first time doing it. But it's really clearly laid out in the pattern. And so, and it gets intuitive when, I don't know if you agree, but once you get going, it's pretty intuitive because you see the yarn overs and you know you need to knit that together. So I highly recommend this pattern. I can't wait to come back and show you all when it's done. I think it's the perfect weight yarn for our weather out here. It's fingering weight, and so that's perfect for a shawl out here in the Bay Area. So I don't think I have anything else about this, but yeah, I've been working on this a little bit, and like I said, a couple of other things. So maybe I'll talk about the other things really quickly, because I don't really have that much progress on.
I also need to point out that it matches your project bag. Are you color coordinating your projects to your project
we all know I like, so we'll put this on screen. We all know I love gold and yellow. And actually I haven't talked about this, and I have mixed feelings about product placement and all of that. But I love this bag and this particular color gold, and I have been eyeing it forever. It's by Hide and Hammer. And they had an update. They're out in the UK, I believe. They had an update, and it translated to 5 a.m. our time. You all, I wanted this bag so badly. Really? I set an alarm. And I woke up like 5 to 5. And at 5 a.m. on the dot, I ordered this. And I probably went through, I don't know, who knows if I went through all of that for nothing. But I got my bag. And I considered it a birthday gift for myself, because I'm not one to indulge too much. But I had to have that mustard project bag with all the gold embellishment on there. So yeah,
it's great. It's a great bag. I've never done that. I've never set an alarm for an update. So yeah, now I'm like, maybe I should try that just for the experience.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's an experience, and then you're tired the rest of the day. So hey. And then the other thing, I'll just share this. I'm not going to share the baby blanket. I just kept working on that 4th triangle, but I finished the heel flap on the morning coffee socks. Oh wait, what am I supposed to do? Put my hand in there. So you
to show the.
So you can see the pattern more. It has a. Can you see that?
Yeah, I think it's showing up.
Yeah.
Kind of like a garter ridge in there.
Yeah, it has a garter ridge, and then the heel flap, I just finished that, and so I'll do the gusset, pick up the gusset, that's what it's called, right? But I like the heel flap. I've usually done, I think, what is it, just the knitted heel flap, but this is slip stitches.
I mean, they say that that's more durable too.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it looks really good as well.
Yeah.
We'll see. Well, it's for a 13-year-old boy, so durable would be a good thing. And that's my progress. So, I don't know, maybe I should work on something more consistently rather than, well, I did the hat. I finished the hat.
That hat is time consuming. It's no joke with those twisted stitches.
And I'm proud of myself. I did this I finished this in like 9 days, so that's good for me. And I used, what is it, Tiny Decisions? I was kind of like, I have all of these projects, maybe I should focus on something. And I used Tiny Decisions, and I shared the picture with Heather, and it selected the Alatau hat for me. So I finished the hat. The next thing it selected was the socks, so we'll see. And part of me is like, maybe try to finish the socks in time for Christmas. I could do it if I really wanted to. So we'll see. All right, that's what I have.
All right. I have one other question about the hat, actually, that I meant to ask earlier. So the pattern, we were both looking at the pattern, that it starts from the top and works out to the brim, right?
Yes.
Because I've never knit a hat like that. Was it hard, like fiddly, to get it started?
You know, no. I learned something new with doing it. It's and I can't describe it very well, but it's I used the crochet hook, and I hadn't crocheted in ages, so at first I was afraid, but you use scrap yarn and you do a provisional cast on.
Okay.
Have you done that before? You do a provisional cast on, and it's the basic crochet stitch to cast on, and you hold the stitches on that. It's like a crochet loop and the stitches, and then I just picked them up and Kitchener stitched it.
Oh, so at the end you just go back and okay. Because there's another method for starting little things in the round that's like really fiddly, where you like, I don't even know what it's called, and you have to like pull the yarn out. But now that I know that it's just a provisional cast on,
it's a provisional cast on.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I've been working on. First of all, I worked a little bit more on my Scrappy Socks. These I was making out of some leftover Neighborhood Fiber Company in the colorway Federal Hill, and some Madeline Tosh. Twist Light is the blue in the color Silverleaf. It's blue. I don't know why it's called Silverleaf. And so I did finish the tube for each of these. I was knitting them 2 at a time. And so I finished the tube because I actually needed the needles for my mom's sweater. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So these are now waiting for a while until I finish that sweater and can get the needles back. But what I need to still do once I have my size 0 needles free again is cut in the heel. So basically, probably right around here, I'm gonna just put the needles back in and then snip a stitch and take out a row to make the hole for the heel. Okay. I know, it sounds scary, it's not that scary. And then knit the heel, so there'll be a heel popping out right there.
Okay.
But maybe when I do it, I'll do one and show the other one when it's like cut, so you guys can see it. Yeah,
I think that would be cool. I would want to see it too, because I've never done that before. And why did you decide to do, that's the afterthought heel? That's the
afterthought heel, because I wanted to use up as much of this Neighborhood Fiber Co. as possible. And so without knowing exactly how long I was going to be able to knit the sock, then I can just go back later and put the heel in.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
I did save, I think, about 13 grams of this gray because I wanted to put it, I have a crocheted scrap yarn blanket going on that I haven't worked on in ages. Mostly because I've run out of the neutral. So I've been doing like a neutral and then a more poppy color and then a neutral and a more poppy color, and I ran out of neutral. So I was like, I need to save a little bit of this. That works. So I can go back to that blanket.
It feels like such a sturdy sock. Did you say what size needle you knit these on?
Size 0. Okay. Yeah, so it's probably, I like to do about 9 stitches to the inch for my gauge for socks, and that's size 0s as well.
Look at this. It's really,
so yeah.
It's a great looking sock.
So we'll see when I get back to those. Like I said, I stole the needles to use for my Arantum.
And are you talking about that today?
I am. Okay. Yeah. So
I'm so curious.
Just as a reminder, this is the Arantum sweater that I'm making for my mom, and I'm making it in a very similar neutral color to this picture, as well as like a reddish brown color. So this is the original swatch that the original swatch was lost, but when I made another swatch last week, this was the swatch that I made, so you can see how the stitch pattern is going to look. So this is Biche et Bouche Le Petit Lamb's Wool in the colors dark red and beige. So I made the swatch originally on US 1 for the rib and US 2 for the body. Yeah. And I love how it feels. It's very nice and light. This yarn is really beautiful to work with. Yeah, it does feel light. But the gauge is slightly too big. So I think it's supposed to be 26 stitches over 4 inches, and this is 24 stitches over 4 inches or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but it was off by a few stitches. So I had to go down another needle size. So I went down to US 0 for the rib and 1.5 for the body. But because my US 0 carbons were being used, I tried to use Addi Turbos, but the gauge was still too big. And I think it's because my gauge on those Addi Turbos, because they're so slick, is a little bit bigger. So then I decided to finish up the sock so I could use my carbons. Okay. So now I've started it again on the carbons. So I just have the cuff done on the zeros.
And how is that checking out?
So it's definitely smaller. Yeah. I mean, I haven't washed it yet, but this yarn doesn't grow too much with blocking. Okay. And my plan is to just knit both sleeves. I'm going to knit the color. This is the extent of the color work on the sleeves. The rest is just plain. Okay. So I'm going to, yeah, it's not too much. Yeah. I'm going to knit both sleeves and then block them. And then whatever the gauge is, I'm just going to go with it. And if I need to make the body a little smaller than in the pattern or a smaller size to make it fit my mom, that's what I'm going to do. Because I can't, I'm not going to go down to double zeros. Yeah, like that's ridiculous.
And I feel like you've made quite a few swatches. So, but good color choices. Yeah. I like these two together. See, Mom, she's making your sweater. She's figuring it out.
Well, the colors were all my mom's. So I went to our local yarn store, Verb for Keeping Warm, one day and picked out a bunch of different, she had said she wanted like a neutral and a reddish color. And I went and I just showed her like right there in the store. I was like taking pictures and sending her different color combos, and that's the one that she liked the best. So yeah.
Have you knit your mom a sweater before? I'm sure you have.
I have, but none of them have really fit that well. So that's why I'm really trying to make sure that this one really fits right.
And you know her measurements, or okay.
Yeah, she sent them to me, so I have.
You're good to
She measured a sweater that she already has that she likes the fit of. So yeah.
Perfect. I'm excited. I really like that sweater. So I look forward to seeing how it turns out. And probably, I don't know, with Heather, maybe next episode, who knows how far she'll be with it.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of sweaters, so I was visiting my mom yesterday and I was knitting. So often when I go see her, I bring knitting with me. And so for some reason I said, you know, one day I'll knit you something. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking DK weight socks to keep her feet cozy. And she was like, it's about time. I was like, whoa, this is my mom doesn't ever ask me for anything, but I guess she sees me working on all of these projects, and in the back of her mind, she's like, why hasn't she made me anything? And then I was like, Mom, what would you like? And in my mind, I'm like, maybe a hat, maybe some socks. Yeah. She said a sweater.
A sweater, yeah.
She said a sweater. Yeah. So I have to add that probably to the 20. She was like, take your time, it's okay, or whatever. I was like, okay. So she wants a sweater, Mark wants a sweater, I want all the sweaters. So we'll see how we do in 2020.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know what I can see her really liking is like kind of like a cardigan that's like kind of a shrug style sweater, you know, those like cozy ones that you can kind of wrap up in.
I think just for the comfort of that and use maybe a worsted weight yarn. Okay, so I have to get on Ravelry and find a nice little cardigan for her. Yeah. See see what she likes. I know she likes blue, so I'll surprise her with something. You all know my strategy here. I listen, I nod, and then when I'm ready, I show up with the knitted gifts.
Yeah.
So that's the plan.
And you could maybe like surreptitiously measure something that she wears a lot.
Oh yeah.
And then you'll know like what, you know, what size to make so that she really likes the fit of it.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
She's changed sizes now. So
yeah.
All right. Well.
All right. So a theme of this podcast is our moms being mad at us because we're not knitting things fast
apparently. All right, so I guess that's the future plan for me. Who knows how near or far in the future, but it's a plan. What are you thinking of knitting up?
Well, I've always got a lot of plans. So, but one thing I definitely want to do, I need to just grab it, is I was watching Woolen Witch, Nina, her podcast the other day. Her name's Nina, right?
Yes, that sounds right.
And she was showing that she was working on some Marled Mania leggings, which is a Stephen West pattern where you combine different fingering weight yarns held double to make these marled leggings. And I had originally seen these, actually, Lavanya Petrosella, who just designed the shawl that one was making, had made a pair of these. I think she was like a test knitter for them, that were just like gorgeous. So they were black, marled with all these different colors. And maybe a year or two ago, and I was like, oh, I have to make those. So I started making these a long time ago. And then I kind of stalled out on them, and they've been in the closet for like a year.
Well then.
But when I saw them, on the Woolen Witch podcast, I was like, okay, I need to get these back out. They're actually really close to being done. The reason I had stopped, so the reason I had stopped is that I wasn't that happy with how the colors were working up. Yeah. So I was using scraps. Sorry, there's lots of needles because everything's on hold because I took the needles to use in other projects. So they are made out of a whole bunch of different scraps of stroll fingering yarn from Knit Picks, because I decided that I don't love that yarn for socks. And I was kind of debating what to do with it. And I thought, okay, it would be great to hold it double. So my idea was to do pinks and reds mixed with a black or a gray. And actually there's some navy here too. So the pattern, so I'll step back so you can see them in all their glory. So they are leggings, and I'm pretty tall, so they're
those are fun.
Yeah. So what I wasn't that thrilled about is how the transition between I wasn't expecting such a stark transition between the red and the pink, because I needed like a darker pink to make that transition really work. And this is like right about my knee. But I just decided, you know what, like they're gonna be comfy. It's not like I'm gonna probably wear them out in the street anyway. Yeah. So I'm gonna finish them, but
I think they're cute.
Yeah.
I think they're really cute. So it's also kind of a fade. You did that
Yeah, I did it as a fade, yeah.
Yeah. And I think this looks like it's intentional though. So I think it works. I like the color choices.
So yeah, I'm happy with the fit. I have tried them on. So one thing I did, the pattern actually has you start with the waistband and then work down. But I wasn't sure about the sizing, and I just feel like I've never made a pair of pants before. So I did a provisional cast on instead, and I knit basically starting from like the butt down. And all I have left to do really is the rib at the bottom of the legs. And then I'm going to go back and pick up for the waistband. Yeah. And I'm probably going to actually do some extra short rows that aren't called for in the pattern, because this like barely goes over my rear end. And then do some decreases for the waist to make sure that it fits really well.
So you're really almost done.
I'm almost done. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to work on that. I want to work on that while we're off school for winter break, and see if I can get them finished so I can wear them this winter.
There you go.
Yeah.
Those would be nice and comfortable and cozy. And
yeah.
I'm kind of jealous.
Yeah.
I want some of those. But that looks like a commitment. I feel like it's fingering weight yarn, right?
Well, it's more like DK because you're holding it double.
You're holding it double. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check out the pattern. I'm curious about Lavanya Patrasella's version of them too. They sound cool.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. And the ones that Nina is making look really pretty also. Yes. They're like, I think, a mustard color.
I saw those too. Yep. Yeah. All, you know, that color scheme. I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. Yeah.
Okay, so other than that, I'm just gonna start on my Clear the Needles 2020. I'm gonna try to, I mean, these are one of the, so this is the next project I'm gonna work on to try to clear my needles, and that and finish my mom's sweater. Those are my next two big goals.
All right, well, those are big ones. Actually, pants and a sweater, that's a commitment for sure. So like I said, I think in terms of immediate things, I'm going to finish the morning coffee socks. I'm going to see if I could get those done in time for Christmas. Otherwise, they'll be for his birthday in February. See, this is exactly why you don't tell people when you're getting their gifts. And then I'll decide what to cast on next. I've been doing pretty well with having one project in each category. And so I can't wait to start the night shift shawl, but I told myself that I'll finish up the Union Street Shawlette before I cast that on. I'm considering in terms of sweaters, well, I have the shifty, so I can't, I probably can't cast on. I don't know, we'll see. We have an entire year for Clear the Needles, so even if I have more than one thing in each category, it's fine. I just need to be done by January 1st, 2021, right? Yeah. So I can maybe cast on all the things if I want to, but I know myself, I might get kind of overwhelmed if I do that. But I started adding some things to my queue that are getting me excited. This knitting stuff, it's hard because I want to knit all the things, right?
There's only so much time, but it does
Especially when you have a full-time job. So we'll figure it out. So should we speak a little bit more about Clear the Needles 2020?
Yeah, let's do. So we have been so excited with everyone who's been participating in our Ravelry group. And I'm gonna just grab our notes because I wrote down some of the things that everyone's been talking about. So we had one member of our group who's been working on a project that's been in timeout for 3 years as part of Clearing the Needles, which I think is awesome. Somebody else posted their Tiny Decisions wheel on the thread, which I thought was awesome. So I did that too. So if any of you all that haven't yet make a Tiny Decisions wheel and want to post it on that thread, we'd love to see like what you're working on this next year.
That was such a good tip, Heather. Thanks for sharing.
Then there was someone with a goal to get down to just 2 works in progress by the end of next year, which is an amazing goal. I don't think I could ever get there.
But one of each.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can have so many categories.
Right. And I think she had said one for travel, like one for
like,
out and about,
I like that idea.
At home.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yep. And then there was another person who had a goal to get down to just one of each project type, which is kind of what I'm going for too.
I think I'm aiming for, you know, maybe just one project, having one project left. And I say that, I think this is relative, so that's why there are so many different ways to approach it. I don't knit that many things at once, and I don't knit that quickly, right? And so I want to be intentional. I know I'll be overwhelmed if I have 1,000,001 projects. So it makes sense for me to say just one project by the time the cal ends or the make along ends. And then I'll have all the things starting over once we hit 2021. So join the group on Ravelry. Let us know how you plan on approaching Clear the Needles 2020. Follow us on Instagram. Use hashtag Clear the Needles 2020. Let's inspire each other as a community and share what we're working on and our goals and accomplish our goals together and have some accountability and support as we do it and have fun.
Yeah, and see what everyone's making. That's
exactly. Yeah, we want to see all the projects.
Yeah. And for me, like half the fun of Clearing the Needles is a lot of what I have on the needles is older patterns that I haven't thought about much recently, or they aren't like really out there right now with everyone making them because, you know, I started making them when the pattern was popular 2 or 3 years ago and never finished it. So it's kind of cool to go back and see some of those really great patterns from a few years ago.
I'm excited to see all of the things that you've had sitting and to just even witness you get those done.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
And
and same for you, because you've got a couple shawls going and a couple you have the shifty, so,
and you reminded me of stuff that I cast. I was like, I don't have a bunch of whips, but you reminded me of stuff that I do have on the needles, and it's probably just like a few rows in. So we'll see how that works out too. I think our next episode we'll do a whip parade to kind of set the foundation and show what we have to work on for Clear the Needles 2020. Heather has like 50 million things.
18, I think. Okay,
18. Heather has 18 things. And I don't know, I think I have like 6 or something. I haven't counted, but we'll share next episode. So tune in for that one. And thank you so much for joining us.
And I think we'll say goodbye for now. We're hoping to see you one more time before the end of 2019.
Yes, so that is crazy. So we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Enjoy the rest of your weekend or week, whatever time it is when you happen to watch this.
Bye.
Bye.